Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 commentary video. This is GomJabbar on Battle.net, and I'm spawning on the bottom right of Jungle Basin, which is a new ladder map. And I do play random, and on this game I rolled Protoss. My opponent is going to be the Zerg VeniVidiVici. And we're just talking about the new map. Neither of us have played on it yet. I'm not a big fan of this map. Now let's quickly take a look at this. So we've got the natural here. We have two ramps off of the natural, and I actually did not see this second ramp, so I'm going to be building down here. But anyway, the natural here is actually fairly protected. There's just these destructible rocks that lead to the natural, and otherwise it's only accessible by your own base. So a very fast expansion might be possible on this map, providing you wall off the front. And my opponent's just making drones. Looks like he's going for a pretty late hatch or a late pool. And again, I'm sort of walling off the front here. I don't know. Oh yeah, I canceled that because there was a space between the wall and the building. Anyway, so my opponent's going for a spawning pool, pretty normal. Yeah, and at this point I realize that there are two ramps, and I mentioned that. Okay, so for Protoss, I should definitely have my gas by now. I don't have my gas yet. I'm still working on my Protoss builds. I'm not too good at it yet. In any case, I see his pretty late pool. I feel pretty safe. And this seems like a pretty good map for Zerg because of this protected natural expansion. He can expand here pretty safely. And I really think I probably should have considered a fast expand type of build. But this is my first time playing on this map, so that's what you get. And I'm chrono boosting out this Zealot. My probe is alive for quite a long time. Not doing too much with this larva. Just take a look at the APM tab real quick. I've got about 60. Resources, he is a little higher, but not a big deal. And he is supply block, so he's going to spam some overlords. I'm sure we've all done that when playing as Zerg. And I'm going gateway right into core so that I can get my gateway units out, like the Stalker, the Sentry. Very good unit. So let's take a look at this map a little further while we have this downtime. Still, he's not taking out my probe, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So we've got this natural expansion, and beyond that, we've got these destructible rocks which lead right up into another expansion in the middle, which is wide open to the opponent here. Go straight there, a little Ursadak over there. It's kind of tricky to think about what should be your third base to take. You might consider this one, but it's right across from this base that your opponent should take. So the third bases are right out in the open. And my opponent is getting his expansion up and running. And I've got two Zealots and a Stalker, which will easily fight this off, no problem. Good overlord placement by my opponent. If I start mining from this expansion, he will see it. And getting my second gas, getting another gateway and a robotics facility. So yeah, in this game, my goal was to get a pretty fast Colossus. My opponent is pretty much just droning, I think. Yep, lots of drones. Getting a Zergling speed. There's queens over here. Yeah, it's pretty standard, I guess. Getting his lair, and really not a whole lot going on at the moment. So, what's the positioning of these bases here? Really annoying, because this base is open with 3 different paths. We got this path, and this path. This path, of course, leading to the destructible rocks to the opponent's base. And then right through some bushes leads straight down here. It's just a really awkwardly placed base. So, you know, while the second base is easy to take, after that it's just really out there. So, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of this map. And I'm getting lots and lots of stalkers. My opponent still only can make Zerglings. He's not teching at all, which is kind of weird. Money getting a little high. Oh, there's the Spire coming up. Spreading creep pretty well. And I think the Spire is a decent choice. Especially if I'm going Colossus, which I am eventually. Not right now, I'm just making some observers. But my eventual goal, once I have my second base up and running, is to transition into Colossi. And my opponent just now getting an Overseer. Not really a big deal. If I had Dark Templar, his Overseer would be pretty late, but he did have his lair up much earlier, so I can't really fault him for that. No guys on this gas yet. I don't know if that's intentional. Getting a double evolution chamber, so we can get those upgrades very quickly. And here I am going to push out first. And this kind of shows my inexperience with the map, but when you give a move command, you know, your guys just kind of split up over these two different lanes on the left and the right, and it's kind of awkward. I really should have led with my Zealots, so that's the Stalker might die needlessly, but here we go. He really doesn't have any units at the moment. And now popping out a bunch of Mutalisks. This could hold off my attack if I stopped attacking the Overlords and just moved in here. Yeah, a lot of the Zerglings, lots of Overlords. He's cutting it very, very close. I think I should probably target the Spire, or I don't know. So here comes his counterattack. This will probably defend it. I should target the Spire. Yeah. Let's take a look at my APM. It's at a walloping 150 for a minute there. Yeah, so I think I have enough Stalkers just to hold off the Mutalisks, but then his Zerglings come in and this is going to be a problem. I'm going to take out his Queen, but yeah, all my units are dead at this point. So I want to snipe the Queen, and at this point, let's take a look at the income tab. I am actually ahead quite significantly. So I'm getting my gas here. Got lots and lots of probes, and there's a changeling that has snuck into my base, and I will notice it and destroy it. So here comes my robotics, or my Colossi. Do not have the thermal lance yet. Again, my builds are not that refined at this point for Protoss, and I really should have gotten more gas earlier because I knew I was going to Colossus, and putting guys on gas is probably even more important. So, yeah, do not have enough gas right now to keep pumping Colossi. Need to make Zealots that I really don't want to make because I know he's going Mutalisks. Although he has a lot of Zerglings, so that's kind of okay. But in any case, okay, now I put my guys on gas. That's fine. Let's see. So we did a pretty good transfer here. These guys are almost perfectly saturated. Throwing down more gateways. A lot of more gateways. That's maybe too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gateways plus Robo with Colossi production. That's too many. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does. I'm losing money, but not a big deal. So he's going to be getting his third base, which is quite smart. But, yeah. I'm just macroing up here, making a lot of stuff. My money is quite low, not supply blocked. So that's pretty good. Just chrono boosting all my warp gates. You got to spend your chrono boost on something, and ideally I should have done this range upgrade for my Colossus instead, but oh well. Good creep spread by my opponent. I'm going to be moving out here a little bit. He's probably going to spot this. He probably should have had his Zerglings at the watchtower, but whatever. And I'm moving out. My Colossus, of course, the move command goes, you know, it doesn't stick them with the rest of the army, so they're going to get separated and picked off. Again, I think that's, you know, it's my fault, obviously, but it's also my inexperience with this map, that there are multiple lanes to the opponent's base, and he's going to clean this up pretty easily. Not a whole lot of damage that I can do. And if I were him, I would really focus on harassing with these Mutalisks at this point, getting map control. I've got quite a few probes here, like double saturated there, and I really need to think about my third base. One Stalker gets away with 2 HP. Will he make it? No, he won't. Aw. This Observer is still here, and this Observer is still here, so I've got pretty good intelligence of what my opponent is doing. He's going to move out and attack right now because he held off my attack and crushed my army. And he's going to harass with these mutas, but thankfully I've got so many probes that it actually doesn't make a huge difference. Meanwhile, he's going to move in and attack my unprotected front ramp. That's pretty bad, but in any case, I'm just going to make a ton of zealots, and I can hold off these Zerglings no problem. So, it was, you know, he's getting his third up and running, and he's doing pretty well. His money is quite high, though. And I'm catching up pretty rapidly in the food count. And I'm finally going to try and fight off these mutas. The thing with the harassment is that it really throws off your gas. Because, you know, you have to move your probes out of the way. Then they're going to be pulled off of gas, and you don't remember to put them back up. Now I'm taking down this rock, and I think that's a mistake. Again, this is my inexperience with this map, but I didn't know that he had this base. Let's go ahead to the camera here. I didn't know he had that base, and I just saw some rocks, and I said, oh, dude, I'll destroy these. I don't know. Why not? I was probably thinking a little bit about taking this base, not knowing that it was already occupied. So, my opponent is still pretty high on money, but he is in the lead right now. Income-wise, we're actually about even, and that's just, I think, because we have about the same number of harvesters. He needs more harvesters for 3 bases, that's for sure. Getting an infestation pit, a lot of upgrades, so that's very good. A lot of roaches and Mutalisks. I'm going to go ahead and move out here and target that hatchery. That did not get canceled, I killed it. And now I'm paying attention to my Colossi and making sure that they go where I want them to. I do have the Thermal Lance upgrade, and I'm going to go ahead and move in for the attack. All of his Mutalisks are spread out on the left, so his forces are kind of cut a little bit here. His choice of roaches was not ideal. I'm going to be blinking back my damaged Stalkers here. And now the roaches do pretty well against Colossi, but definitely not against Stalkers. And going Stalker heavy in this situation will definitely counter the mutas and the roaches. So I'm going to come out of this pretty far ahead, and I should pull this Colossus back as he's trying to focus fire it. But you know what, let's just press onward.